Means that do it. Burger
Welcome to the second hour of Air Checks. The Mystery Theater was a radio series that was written, adapted, produced and broadcast by the CBC from 1966 to 1968. Chills, thrills, mystery and adventure make up the stories from this classic series from the CBC. Weekly mystery dramas originated in various CBC production centers: Halifax, Montreal, Winnipeg, and Vancouver. Episodes were also aired as Theatre 1030, Playhouse and others. Center for Broadcasting and Journalism Studies, CCBJS. Since 1975, the Center has been the official legal depository of the radio drama scripts and ancillary drama materials of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. The CCBS collection now includes scripts from the dawn of radio in Canada in the 1930s to the present day. The Center's archives collected and established by Howard Fink house more than 20,000 original Canadian radio drama scripts and several hundred sound versions of the most important of these productions, as well as all the surviving ancillary documents. 3 extensive annotated bibliographies have been placed online for the radio dramas, 1925 to 1961, 1962 to 1986 and 1987 ongoing. Radio is a unique medium, and though it may be overshadowed by newer media as a means of communication, it has nonetheless played a central role in the evolution of Canadian and global communication and society. We maintain that the radio drama scripts contained in our archive are important artifacts of the cultural and political development of Canadian modernity itself. Here is The Monkey's Paw.
Mystery Theater. CBC presents Mystery Theater, a series of strange tales of the supernatural and the unforeseen, of chills and thrills and adventures selected from the classics. Here then, the story of The Monkey's Paw by W. Jacobs, in radio version by John Bethune.
Heavens, what a night. Herbert?
Yes, Mother?
You better wear your muffler when you go off to work.
I will.
Never forget your galoshes. It's been raining cats and dogs since supper time, and the roads will
Jenny,
be...
please.
What's the matter?
We're trying to play chess. How can we concentrate if you keep chattering?
I'm sorry.
All right, then. Now, where were we?
It's still your move, Dad.
I know that, but what was I going to... Oh, yes. There, got you this time, me boy.
Yeah, it's sure a deep one, all right.
Don't tell me your father's finally beaten you, Herbert.
No, not yet. He's overlooked his king.
Oh, I see it. Here, let me have that back.
Not on your life.
Why not?
All rules of the game, Dad.
I don't know with your scientific rules. You turn what ought to be an innocent relaxation into some
don't
sort
talk
of
so much, John. How can Herbert concentrate if you keep chattering?
It's all right, Mother.
Oh, listen to that wind, would you?
I'm listening.
I should hardly think Sergeant Major Morris would come tonight.
Oh, he'll turn up.
Can't say I blame him if he don't. That road out there's like a bog. Check. That's the worst of living way out here. Your friends can't even come to call.
Mate.
Lovers Lane, Fulham. Of all the miserable out-of-the-way places to live, this one takes the bun.
Now, John.
It's a disgrace, I tell you. What's the county council thinking of? That's what I want to know. Just because this is the only house in the road that's occupied, I suppose it don't matter if nobody can get near it.
Now, never mind, dear. Perhaps you'll win tomorrow.
Aye? What do you mean?
You know what I mean, so don't pretend.
Can't fool you, eh, Mother? Always know what I'm up to, don't you?
Well, after 30 years, I ought to.
All right, then, what am I thinking right now?
That you'd like a glass of grog.
Right again.
Oh, shouldn't we wait till the Sergeant Major Morris comes?
Ah, he won't come. Even an hardened old soldier like him would think twice before slogging his way out to a God-forsaken spot like this.
Oh, all right.
Come on now, Dad. It's not such a bad place. Leastways, it's not one of them stucco villas. In fact, it's one of the few old-fashioned houses left near London. Home-like, I call it.
Oh.
And so do you, or you wouldn't have bought it.
And a nice job I made of that, too. £200 still owing on.
Oh, don't worry. I'll work that off in no time. Matter of 3 years, I'd say, with the rise they promised me.
You don't get married?
Oh, not me, Mother. Not that sort.
Oh, I wish you would, Herbert. A good lad like you with a steady job at the electrical works.
Lots of time, Mother. Sufficient for the day, as the saying goes. Just now my dynamos at the plant don't leave me much time for love-making.
Dynamos. I know sometimes I lay awake at nights and I think, if Herbert took a nap on the job and let them dynamos of his run down, all Fulham would be in darkness. Oh. What a joke that'd be.
Joke? Some joke. I'd get sacked on the spot.
Hello? Well, that must be Morris after all. I never thought he'd make it.
I wonder what yarn the old boy's got for us tonight.
Don't slam the door, John.
Well, now, good evening. Come in, old friend, come in. Quick now. Can't hold this door much longer.
Right.
Ooh. Here, let me take your coat. Oh, that wind's enough to blow the air off your head.
Aye, it's bad, all right. And a mile up the road by the cemetery, it's even worse.
Here's Sergeant Major Morris, Jenny.
Good evening.
How are you, ma'am?
Oh, I'm well enough, thank you. But you must be frozen. Come, sit here by the fire.
Ah, thank ye kindly, ma'am.
Good evening, sir.
Well, laddie, how's yourself? Not on duty, I see. Day week, eh?
No, sir, night week, but there's half an hour yet.
Oh, hand me the kettle, will you, Herbert?
All right.
Ah, this is more like it.
We were afraid you wouldn't come in all this rain.
Oh, you don't know me, ma'am. This is nothing to what I've seen in India.
Really, sir?
Aye, in the trenches at Chitral. What a time we had of it there. Sitting in a puddle with the natives taking pot shots at us and the rain pouring down in buckets.
Didn't you have umbrellas?
Umbrellas. Oh, that's a good one. Did you hear that, White? Umbrellas, she says. Umbrellas and galoshes and hot water bottles, eh? It's plain to see you was never in the army, ma'am.
Mother spoke out of kindness,
Well,
sir.
I know it, laddie. No offence intended, ma'am. But hardship is the soldier's lot. Aye. Starvation, fever, and get yourself shot. That's the way of it. And all I've got to show now is one arm and a blooming medal.
Cheer up, Morris. Here, try some of this.
Oh, what have we got here?
Put your nose in it, you'll see.
Ah, hot whiskey.
With sugar and a slice of lemon.
Well, now, I don't mind if I do. Here's to another 1,000 a year.
Same to you and many of them.
Oh, that's the stuff they give the troops. Here, laddie. Ain't you going to join us?
No, thanks. My work don't go with whiskey.
Not even a drop.
No, sir. I've got to keep a cool head and a steady eye and a still hand. If I don't, the flywheel might gobble me up.
Herbert, don't say such things.
Ah, you electricians. Sort of magicians you are. Light says you, and light it is. Power says you, and the trams go whizzing. Knowledge says you, and the words go humming to the ends of the world. It fair beats me, it does. And I've seen a bit in my time, too.
Indian magic, you mean?
Aye, fakirs. I've seen them do things you wouldn't believe.
Really? Such as what?
Well, I've seen a cow with no more clothes on than a baby.
Oh, dear.
If you know what I mean, ma'am. I've seen him take an empty basket, empty, mind you, and tie it all round with ropes.
Oh, you mean a basket trick. That's just a fake.
Fake, you call it. I tell you, I've seen it.
So have I, and I've read how it's done. Well, I could do it myself with a bit of practice.
Could you now? Well, what do you say to an old fakir chucking a rope in the air, mind you, and swarming up it the same as if it was hooked, then vanishing clear out to sight?
Oh, but that's impossible.
I've seen it with my own eyes,
Oh,
lad.
come on.
You mean to say you doubt my word?
No, the lad's only taking you off, all in fun.
But it's true, I tell you. And that's not all. Why, if I chose, I could tell you things. But no. You don't get any more yarns from me.
Nonsense, old friend. You're not going to get shirty about a bit of fun.
Here, let me fill your glass.
Thank ye kindly, ma'am.
You know, I'd like to go to India myself someday. Just to look round a bit. See them fakirs and jugglers and old temples and things.
You're better off where you are, White. There's things in India it's best for a man not to know about.
What was that you started telling me about the other day? About monkey's paw or something.
Nothing. Leastways, nothing worth hearing.
A monkey's paw?
Aye.
Come on, Morris, tell us about it.
No, it's nothing. Don't go on about it.
You said you always carried it with you.
So I do, for fear of what might happen.
Here's your glass, Sergeant Major.
Thank you, ma'am.
What's the monkey's paw for, sir?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Oh, yes, I would. Have you got it with you now?
Of course.
Well, can we see it?
Oh, it's nothing to look at. Just an ordinary little paw dried up into a mummy. Here you are.
Oh, it's dirty.
Give us a look. Oh, it's all dried up.
I said so.
And, what might there be special about it?
That there paw has had a spell put on it.
Oh, dear. Give it back to him, John.
Oh, here, take it.
Who was it put the spell on it?
An old fakir. A very holy man he was. Used to sit all doubled up in one spot.
Cool.
Sat like that for going on 15 years, thinking of things. And he wanted to show that people was ruled by fate. That everything was cut and dried from the beginning, as you might say. That there weren't no getting away from it. And that if you tried, you'd catch it hot.
Don't say.
So he put a spell on this bit of a paw.
Why a monkey's paw?
Oh, it might have been anything else, but he took the first thing that came handy. Aye. He put a spell on it and made it so that 3 people could each have 3 wishes.
Oh.
But mark you, though those wishes were granted, those 3 people would have cause to wish they hadn't been.
But, how could the wishes be granted?
He didn't say. It would all happen so natural, you might think it was just a coincidence if so disposed.
Why haven't you tried it, sir?
I have.
Oh, you've had your 3 wishes.
Yes,
And were they granted?
they were.
Has, anybody else wished?
Yes. The first owner had his 3 wishes. Oh, yes. Yes, he had his 3 wishes, all right. I don't know what his first 2 were, but the third was for death.
Oh.
That's how I got the paw.
Well, it seems you've only got to wish for things that can't have any bad luck about them.
Ah, you don't understand, laddie.
Morris, if you've had your 3 wishes, the paw's no good to you now. What do you keep it for?
Fancy, I suppose. I did have some idea of selling it, but I don't think I will. It's done enough mischief already. Besides, people won't buy. Some of them think it's a fairy tale, and some want to try it first and pay after.
Well, if you could have another 3 wishes, would you?
I don't know. I don't know. No, I'm damned if I would. I've had my fill of this cursed paw. It's time the world was rid of it.
Ain't not in the fire?
Yes, in the fire, there.
No, here, I'll get it out.
Don't be a fool, let it burn. Let the infernal thing burn, I tell you.
Not if I can... Got it. There we are.
Is it burnt?
No, it's just singed a bit.
Chuck it back again, man.
No! If you don't want it, give it to me.
Not I. My hands are clear of it. I threw it on the fire. If you keep it, don't blame me for what happens. But if you've any sense, you'll pitch it back.
Yes, do as he says, John, please.
No, I'm going to keep it. Now, what do you say, Herbert?
Oh, I say keep it if you want to. Stuff and nonsense, anyhow.
Stuff and nonsense. Yes, I wonder. I wish I could...
Stop.
What?
Mind what you're doing. That's not the way.
What do you mean? It's not...
I mean, that's not the right way to wish.
Well, what is the right way?
Oh, don't have anything to do with it, John.
That's what I say, Ma'am. But if I don't tell him what to do, he might go wishing for something he didn't mean to, by accident. Look, you hold the paw in your right hand first. Then wish aloud. Huh? But I warn you, White. I warn you.
Sounds like the Arabian Nights.
What shall I wish for, Jenny?
Well, let me see. You might wish for me 4 pair of ants to do my housework.
All right, you are. Here we go. I wish...
Stop it.
What's the matter?
If you must wish for something sensible.
All right. Suppose I wish...
No.
that,
Wait. I can't stand this. Where's my coat?
You're not going?
Yes, Ma'am, I must. My nerves aren't up to this. Get my coat, will you, laddie?
Well, if you wait a bit, sir, I'll come along with you. I go your way.
Thank you, lad, but I can't stay any longer.
Not even for another glass of
Not
grog?
for anything. I don't want to be here when you wish. And wish you will as soon as my back is turned.
What makes you think so?
Because I know. Pitch it in the fire.
Here's your coat, sir.
Thank you. Now mind, I warned you, White. I warned all of you. Remember?
Yes. Don't worry about us, old friend.
Here. What's this?
For the monkey's paw.
No, I'll take no money for
Oh,
it.
yes, you will.
Well, good night, all.
Good night,
Good night.
Sergeant. Well, what do you make of that?
Poor old Sergeant Major. If there's no more in this monkey's paw than there is in his other stories, we shan't make much out of it.
John, did you give him something for it?
Oh, just a trifle.
Well, you shouldn't have, throwing your money about.
I wonder...
Wonder what?
I wonder whether we hadn't better chuck it back on the fire.
What for? Why, we're all going to be rich and famous and happy.
Throw it on the fire indeed, when you've given good money for it.
Wish to be an emperor, Dad. Then you can't be henpecked anymore.
That'll be enough of that, young man. You be quiet.
You know, when I stop to think of it, I don't know what to wish for, and that's a fact. I seem to have got all I want.
If only you'd cleared the debt on the house, you'd be perfectly happy, eh, Dad?
Oh, that's right.
Well, go ahead. Wish for the £200. That'll just do it.
Oh, shall I?
Of course. Here's the paw. Now, take it in your right hand and wish.
No, don't, John. Don't have anything to do with it.
Go on, Dad, go on.
Yes, by Jove, I will. I wish for £200. Oh,
John, what is it?
it moved. As I wished, the paw twisted my hand like a snake.
Nonsense. Here, let me see it. Why, it's as stiff as a bone.
I tell you, it moved.
Oh, it was just your fancy.
No.
Well, I don't see any money anywhere, and I bet I never shall.
Whew, thank God there's no harm done. But that give me a shock and no mistake.
Oh, 11:30. Time I was off.
Mind you take your galoshes.
I don't.
And you won't be late for breakfast, will you?
Not if I can help it. But I'll be walking home, you know.
Walking? Why?
Well, I can't take my bike in this weather. So don't wait for me after 9.
All right. Have you got your scarf?
Aye, all set. Good night, Mother.
Good night, dear.
You'll find the £200 tied up in the middle of your bed, I expect, Dad.
Don't joke about it, son.
And a monkey hanging by his tail from the bedpost, watching you count your golden sovereigns.
Herbert.
Yeah?
Nothing. Good night, my boy.
Good night, Dad.
What's wrong?
Top bolted stiff again. There. I must get Herbert to look at it in the morning.
Well, I'm off to bed. Will you see to the fire?
Yeah, it's all right. Hey, Jenny!
What's the matter? John, what is it?
It's nothing. I just saw faces in the fire.
Oh. Well, come along to bed, dear. John, breakfast ready.
Right you are. No sign of Herbert yet?
No, he hasn't got his bicycle. He said not to wait after 9.
Oh, yes, I'd forgotten. Well, he's got a fine day for walking home. Cleared up nicely. Oh, by the way, where did you leave the monkey's paw last night?
On the mantelpiece. Still there. Silly, dirty thing. Spells, indeed.
Oh, Morris and his yarns. I suppose all old soldiers are the same.
The idea of our listening to such nonsense. How could wishes be granted nowadays?
Doesn't seem likely, does it?
And all the rubbish about it's making you unhappy if your wish was granted.
Ha! You've been thinking about it, have you?
No, of course not. But, how could £200 hurt anyone?
Well, I suppose it might drop on your head in a lump. Don't see any other way. Though, mind you, Morris said it would happen so naturally that you might take it for a coincidence if so disposed.
Well, it hasn't happened. That's all I know, and it isn't going to. What's that?
Postman, of course. Yes, there's a letter in the box.
A letter? Oh, John. Suppose
what?
Suppose it's the £200.
Eh? Yeah, don't talk nonsense. What's got into you?
Nothing, I just thought...
Another bill, I expect.
No, it's not. It's quite thick. It's got something crisp inside.
Who's it for?
You.
Yeah, let me see. Hey, that's odd.
Well, go on, open it.
All right, don't get excited.
Take care, don't tear it, if it's banknotes.
Banknotes, fat chance.
Oh, looks like some kind of document.
And a slip of paper.
What does it say?
It says, Sir, Enclosed, please find receipt for interest on the mortgages of £200 in your house duly received.
Well, that comes of listening to tipsy old soldiers.
What does?
You thought there was bank notes in it.
I did not. I said all along the...
How Herbert will laugh when I tell him.
Well, you're not going to tell him. You're going to keep your mouth shut. That's what you're going to do. God, I never hear the last of it.
It serves you right for trying to frighten us last night.
What do you mean?
Saying the paw moved when you wished.
But it did. It did move. Now that I'll swear to.
You thought it did.
No, I say it did. There was no thinking about it.
9:30. Herbert should be here by now, walking or not. He's off at 8.
Ah, but he has to change and wash before he leaves the plant.
Still, it shouldn't take him all this time. I'll look and see if he's coming down the road.
Your sausages are getting cold. See him?
No. But there's a man by the garden gate. Looks to be a gentleman.
What about him?
He's looking at the house. As if he wants to come in. But he can't seem to make up his mind.
Oh, go on. You're full of fancies this morning.
No, he's going on. Now he's coming back.
Well, don't let him see you peep in.
John, he looks like a sort of lawyer.
Well, what of it?
Oh, you know. But suppose he's coming about the £200.
Oh, nonsense. Come and eat your breakfast. Where is he now?
At the gate again. He's coming in. Oh, dear. And me all untidy.
What's the matter? He's made a mistake. Come to the wrong house.
Oh, I'll go and see who did.
Is this Mr. White?
Yes, come in, sir.
Thank you.
Please step in. You must overlook me being so untidy.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. My name is Samson.
Won't you please be seated?
Thank you. No, I think not.
You, wanted to see me, sir?
Oh, yes. Yes, I've come from the electrical works.
Oh, then it's our son Herbert you want to see. He'll be home soon, if you care to wait.
No. I was asked to call. That is, the company sent me to...
Is anything the matter?
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Herbert, what's happened? Is he hurt?
Now, Mother, don't jump to conclusions. Let the gentleman speak. You've not brought bad news, sir, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. White. There's been an accident at the plant.
Herbert, he's been hurt.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, John.
Badly hurt, sir?
Yes, very badly.
Is he in pain?
Oh, no, he's not in pain.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
But if he's badly hurt... Good God. You can't mean it.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Oh, my boy. My boy. Oh, no.
Go on, sir. What happened?
Well, he was telling his mates a story. Something that happened here last night. He was laughing about it and not paying attention, and the machinery caught him.
Oh, no.
The machinery caught him. I see.
The company wished me to convey their sincere sympathy with you in your great loss.
Great loss, yes.
And I was to say further...
He was our only child.
Please understand, I'm only the company's servant. I'm only obeying orders.
Yes. Machinery caught him.
I was to say the company disclaims all responsibility, but in consideration of your son's services, they wish to present you with a sum of money as compensation.
For our great loss. Hey, how much?
£200.
Oh, no.
200. Oh.
John.
This bolt gets stiffer every night. There. Well, that's that. Time we got to bed, Jenny. Jenny?
What?
I said it's time for bed. What are you doing at the window?
Looking up the road.
What for? You can't see anything.
Yes, I can. The moonlight's so bright you can almost see the cemetery.
Oh, Jenny, please come away from there. You'll get cold.
It's colder where he is.
Oh, Aye. Is it only a week since we laid him there?
I don't know.
We don't take much account of time now, do we?
Why should we? He'll never come home again. There's nothing to think about now.
Or to talk about.
He took all our hopes with him.
And our wishes.
Aye, and all our... John.
What on earth's the matter?
The paw. The monkey's paw.
What about it?
Where is it? What happened to it?
I don't know why.
You haven't done away with it?
I haven't seen it since...
Well, find it. Find it.
Well, it was here on the mantelpiece the last time I... Oh, yeah, here it is.
Oh, thank God. Why didn't I think of it before? Why didn't you think of it?
What are you talking about?
The other 2 wishes.
What?
We've only had one.
Oh, wasn't that enough, Jenny?
No. We'll have one more. Don't you see? We'll wish our boy alive again.
Good God, woman, are you bad?
We had our first wish granted. Why not our second?
Jenny, you don't know what you're saying. He's been dead for more than a week. When they showed him to me, I only knew him by his clothing. If you weren't allowed to see him then, how could you bear to see him now?
I don't care. Bring him back. Take the paw and wish.
No, I daren't touch it.
You must. Here, take it. Now wish.
Jenny, please.
Wish.
Oh, God, forgive me. I wish my son alive again. Oh, what's happened? I can't see.
The candle's gone out.
But how could it? I didn't...
Wait. Listen.
Jenny, where are you?
At the window.
Shh. What do you see?
Nothing.
Oh, thank God.
Nothing at all. Along the whole length of the road, there's not a living thing. It's as empty as our lives.
We still have each other. And our memories.
Memories.
There now. Don't take on so. Here, I'll light the candle. And then we'll go up to bed. There. That's better, eh? Come along now, Mother.
I'm no longer a mother. Oh, Herbert. What's that?
Nothing. Just a rat in the wall.
It's Herbert. He's at the door.
Here, stop. What are you going to do?
I'm going to open it.
No, for God's sake.
Let me go. Why are you trying to hold
Jenny,
me?
I beg you, don't open that door.
I must. Let me go.
What we might see.
Do you think I'm afraid of my own child?
No,
Let me go.
No.
I'm coming, Herbert.
No,
I'm coming.
no, Jenny, don't do it. Oh, go on, what can I do? What can I... The paw. The monkey's paw. There's one wish left. Now,
John, come and help me. I can't move the top.
Where
no.
is that paw? Where did I drop it?
John, help me, quick.
Where is that thing? In God's name, where did it fall?
Wait, Herbert. I'm trying to open it. It's moving. It's moving.
Ah, here it is. I wish my son dead. I wish him dead. And at peace.
Herbert! There's no one here. There's nothing.
Thank God. Oh, thank God.
Mystery Theater has presented A Monkey's Paw by W. W. Jacobs, in radio version by John Bethune. Production and direction, Gene Bartels. In the cast, Cosette Lee as the mother, Alan King, the father, and Jim Bradford, Herbert the son. Glenn Morris was heard as Sergeant Major Morris, and Gilly Fennick, Sampson, the man from the electrical company. Sound effects were by Alex Sheridan, and technical operation, Henry Durda. This is Bill Lorne speaking.
That was The Monkey's Paw. Here we go with more of the CBC Mystery Theater, entitled The Ghost Town Hermit.
Now is the time to tell of the unaccountable, of apparitions by night and phantoms in shadow. Time to tell strange tales of fantasy and the supernatural. Mystery Theater presents The Ghost Town Hermit by Alan King.
I went up to Colville that summer to get material for some feature articles on British Columbia ghost towns. You've heard of those dead mining towns in the northern part of the province. I found a story there, but I never wrote it. I have a certain reputation on a Vancouver paper I work on, and I wanted to keep it. I'd been ill the winter before, and Frank Strait, my editor, was being very nice about it.
You could do with a series of articles for the magazine section on ghost towns. Why don't you and Lois take a month up there? 6 weeks, if you like. You need a holiday, and I need a series of features.
I'd like to, Frank, but I'm all right. You know, a couple of weeks would be all right.
Nonsense, Ken. You look like the back end of a hard winter. You're going to take a long holiday and write me some stories. And build yourself up. Gives me the willies just looking at you.
Okay, Frank. I'll go. Lois will be tickled, I know. Is there anything special you have in mind?
Oh, no. Get into some of the lesser-known towns. Barkerville's been done to death. Try some of the others. Colville, for instance. Murder there once. One of two brothers. Other one stayed on. Hermit. Don't know whether he's still there.
Where's the place?
Up near Burridge, I think. You'll find it. Maybe nothing in the story, and the place may have disappeared by now.
I'll go and see anyway.
Sure. Leave whenever you want to, Ken, and don't come back till you look more human.
Frank was right about Colville. In the gold rush days, there'd been a murder there. And though the murderer was never caught, there seemed to be a certain Bella Sawyer mixed up in it, too. She was a girl in a traveling stage show, apparently. Made a tour of those boom towns every few months. And it certainly looked promising, and we decided to make Colville our first point of investigation. We drove leisurely. I was recuperating fast and wanted to loaf a bit. It was nearly a week before we turned into Burridge, where I thought I'd better try fishing for information about Colville. I got most bites from Sam Bryden, who ran the general store.
25 miles north of here, Mr. Bly. It's a ghost town. The real thing. Yeah, been up there once. Just like you see in the movies. One street, buildings falling apart. False fronts are still there, some of them. Saloons, banks, the Opry House.
Opera House?
Yes, ma'am. All them ghost towns have their opera houses. Well, it's not much, you know. They call them opera houses, though.
Right.
Stage shows used to come around in those days.
Did you ever hear of a girl called Bella Sawyer?
I don't recall.
She was in one of those shows, I believe.
Well, old Danny would know.
Danny? Who's he?
The only inhabitant of Colville.
You mean there's still somebody living there?
Sure. Danny Quayle.
Well, what does he do? I mean, how does he live?
Just gets along, I guess. Kind of peculiar, you might say. Comes down here about once in 2 months, buys some supplies.
How does he pay for them?
Gold. Pans enough to buy what he needs. Been there ever since the gold rush days.
Wonder where he stayed on.
I never asked him. His brother was murdered there, you know. Marty Quayle. About 50 years ago it was. I've heard the story 2 or 3 different ways. Some say it was... Wait now. Did you say Bella Sawyer?
Yes.
That was the name. I remember them telling me when I first came here. I haven't been here only about 15 years. They said this Marty Quayle was kind of stuck on this girl, Sally... Bella Sawyer.
And he was murdered.
Didn't they catch the murderer? Ever?
Nope. Some figured it was one fellow, some figured it was another. A lot of people got themselves killed in them days. Folks wasn't too particular. Well, now I think of it, Some of them thought maybe Danny Quayle killed his brother.
Killed his brother?
Yeah?
Well, he wouldn't have stayed on, surely, if he did.
You wouldn't think so.
What does Danny talk about when he comes down for supplies?
Oh, usually don't talk about nothing at all. Once in a while, he goes on about making a strike, stuff like that. I don't pay no attention. All them old sourdoughs talk like that.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. There's one thing I've never been able to figure out, though.
What's that?
Candles. Always buys candles.
But he wants to have a light, I suppose. Well, what's so strange about that?
No. Got an oil lamp in his cabin. I know that. Because he buys oil. Buys a lot of candles. By the dozen, in fact.
Well, now. That is strange, in fact.
Yeah. I got kind of curious one day. And I asked him.
What did he say?
He said, and I remember his very words, he said, "You wouldn't want her to sing in the dark, would you?"
Her? What did he mean?
Now, search me, ma'am. He wouldn't say no more. I never asked him again.
I picked up one or two more scraps of information, but it was hard. Nobody was left alive in Burridge who remembered those days over 50 years ago when the gold fever was at its height. There were some who had heard stories, though. I learned a little about the Quayle brothers. They were totally unlike. Marty, the murdered one, dark, good-looking, had a way with women, they said. Danny, plodding, slow-talking, hard-working. I guess Danny did most of the work on the brothers' claim. And there were hints of a flashing romance between Marty and Bella Sawyer. And then Marty was strangled, and Bella never came back to Colville. Strangled. That puzzled me. In those violent days, men killed with a knife or a gun. Strangling wasn't in the picture. Well, there was nothing more that I could get in Burridge, and so we bought some supplies and headed north for Colville.
I don't believe it.
It's what Sam said. It's like a movie set.
But the silence. Can't believe there's anything alive here. There are no birds, even.
It's like a town that's waiting for the end of the world.
I don't like it very much.
Now, there's nothing to be afraid of, dear. The dead can't hurt you.
There's something out of character. Out of balance. I don't know what it is.
What do you mean?
Well, it's hot, sunny, lovely summer day, and yet something cold and dead about all this.
Oh, it's hot, certainly. Do you want to walk along and have a look at things?
All right.
Look at the fronts of these buildings.
Yes.
Trying to be impressive. Nothing behind them.
Hey, what was this? Can you tell? There's something left of the name up there. Look.
O-O-A. Saloon.
Oh, yeah.
There'll be plenty of those. And there's the bank next door. You see it?
I wonder if they've forgotten left some money in there.
You want to go in and see?
Oh, not me. Probably fall through the floor.
If there's a floor left.
Oh, Ken, look.
What?
Over there, the Opera House.
By George, so it is. The Bella Sawyer used to come and sing.
Did you notice something about it?
Notice what?
Well, it looks taken care of.
Oh, no. It's pretty dilapidated to me.
I know, but the letters in the name are much clearer than any others in the street.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. almost as if someone had... Come on. Let's go over and have a look.
All right.
Oh, it's pretty bad shape after all.
Oh, but look at the name. Somebody has tried to do something with it.
Uh-huh. It's been painted since, long after anything else around here was painted.
No.
I'd like to have a look inside. Come on. Mm-hmm. Just as I thought.
Oh.
Pretty well gone. A few benches, you see? The odd box.
Look at the cobwebs. Look at how thick they are.
What's that?
What?
Over there. Scrap of an old poster. Look, Lois.
Oh, yes.
Badly torn. Headed by the celebrated and beautiful Miss... Oh, damn it. It'd be torn there.
Do you think it was Bella Sawyer?
I don't know. It all depends on...
It wasn't Bella. Bella never came back.
Lois's sudden scream made my heart pound against my ribs. We whirled around from the poster, holding on to each other. And there in front of us, no doubt about it, is Danny Quayle. He was an old man. His eyes pale blue, his face seamed and withered, his hair and beard a streaky white, all straggling. There was something on his head that had once been a hat. His clothes were just a covering, patched till they had no shape or resemblance to what they had been. What he wore on his feet told us why we'd failed to hear him approach. For instead of shoes, his feet were wrapped in old cloth and sacking. He stood there, apparently not very surprised, one hand held half raised to point at the torn poster.
Bella never came back. Leastways, not till that other time.
You are Danny Quayle?
Eh?
I say, you must be Danny Quayle.
Yeah. You strangers in town, ain't you?
That's right.
You know?
I just came up to Colville to look around.
Yes.
Trying to get her fixed up.
Get what fixed up, sir?
Upper house. Have to do it myself. Nobody else will give me a hand.
But you live here all alone, don't you? There's nobody to help you.
I ain't alone. No, sir. Not alone. Not alone.
Ken, what does he mean?
Easy. It's all right, Lois. He's a little, you know. Danny.
Huh?
Danny, we'd like to talk to you. We want you to tell us something about Colville. The old days, you know.
Eh?
Could we, go up to your cabin?
Who are you? What are you looking for?
It's all right, Danny. We just want you to tell us some stories about the old days when you were prospecting here.
You stay away from my cabin.
Well, all right. We won't go there, then. I'll tell you what. You come along to our car. We got something to eat there. Maybe you'd like a drink. How about it? He came, finally. He ate greedily and drank a little. We tried to draw him out, but his mind wandered. Patiently, I tried to work the conversation round to Marty and Bella Sawyer. He was very wary. I could tell that years ago he'd been severely questioned about the murder.
I told them they were satisfied. Marty's dead. Good and dead. Didn't do no good. She came back one night. I was there. She came back looking for Marty. Every year she came back looking for him. She
You never found him. Tell us about that other night. The night your brother was killed.
Strangled. He was strangled. They found him outside the opera house. She's seen him lying there. She's seen him. She's seen him dead.
It's all right, Lois. What happened before that, Danny?
Huh?
Did something happen in the opera house?
He was sitting beside me. She was singing. He got up, started singing too. Singing with her. He was singing with her. No, he won't be singing with her tonight. He won't be there. He won't be there.
Tonight?
Now, I gotta go. I gotta get things ready for her.
For her? You mean she's...
She don't want nobody else to do it, just me. Gotta light the candles. She can't see without the candles. Gotta get things ready. She can't see without candles. Can't see without candles.
Oh, Ken. I'm scared.
There's nothing to be scared of, darling. He's harmless.
But the way he talks, he believes Bella Sawyer's coming here tonight.
Of course he does. He was in love with her. You can see that. He's just cracked, that's all. He believes that she comes back from time to time.
What was all that about candles?
I'm just beginning to get an idea. And tell you what, let's just take it easy for a while. And then when it gets dark, I think we're going to find out what the old boy's up to.
Oh, I don't want to be here when it's dark.
No. And there's not a thing to be afraid of. There's no one else but Danny here. And he can't hurt you.
I know he can't, but...
But what, darling?
It feels as if there was somebody else here.
You could see old Danny Quayle shuffling down the street, going noiselessly on his old rags. There was nobody else in Colville but him and the two of us. Nobody else. Lois was a brave girl that night. Her will would have taken her back to Burridge, but still she came with me down the street towards the opera house. Neither of us spoke as we slipped tensely past the dead buildings with their distorted shadows. We were within 20 paces of the opera house when Lois froze in her tracks and seized my arm with both hands.
Ken, look. There's a light.
A light? Where?
There, look. Can't you see it?
Good Lord, so there is. It's in the opera house.
What can it be?
It seems to be shining through a crack. Come on, let's find out.
But Ken,
It's all right. It can only be old Danny. Now, come on. Don't make a noise. And watch the boards. On tiptoe, we hurried to the door of the old theater, pushed aside the burlap at the door, and peered in. What we saw stopped us as if we'd been struck by lightning. Across the front of the old broken-down stage were footlights. They looked like tins cut in half to make reflectors. Set in each one of them was a lighted candle, and seated on an old bench in what was once the front row was Danny Quayle.
It's Danny.
Yes. I suspected something like this when he said he had to get things ready.
So that's what he wanted the candles for. Footlights.
I imagine he sees her in his mind. He was in love with her, you see. He had to make her come back.
Poor old man.
Oh, I don't know about that, darling. There's something else we don't know yet.
doing? He's plotting. What do you know?
This is the moment he sees her. Watch.
Bella. Bella. In the good old summertime, in the good old summertime.
I got it then. I could see that night long ago. Bella Sawyer sweeping onto the stage, perhaps in a trailing summer frock, carrying a parasol. The miners clapping and shouting. Two brothers sitting down front. In the eyes of one, a look of mute appeal, a lost look. In the eyes of the other, a flashing, mocking recognition of the bold smile of the woman who sang. And then, without warning, leaping to his feet, vaulting over the footlights onto the stage, and arm in arm with Bella Sawyer, joining her in a chorus of the hit of the day. There were words exchanged, perhaps, under the cover of the shouts and applause. And then the young man, flushed and triumphant, shaking his locked hands at the audience in a token of success, jumping down again to the floor, falling back into his seat, telling his brother exultantly, "I'm going away with her tonight after the show." And the brother mute, as if struck in the face. And then...
Ken! Look, he's getting up. What's he going to do?
Watch him. Look. He's trying to climb up onto the stage.
Yes.
It's probably rotten. He's making it. He's going around the end of the footlights. You see?
Why? What for?
Keep it very still. This may answer a lot of things. Yes. He's made it. I didn't think he would. He's walking towards the center. He's looking at something. Can you tell what it is? Lois, what's the matter?
Oh, on the stage. There. Standing right in front of me. It's her, Ken. It's her.
Lois, now get a hold of yourself. There's nothing there.
There is, so I can see her. Bella Sawyer. Look, she's moving towards me.
Lois. Darling, now listen to me.
Oh, Ken.
There's nothing on that stage. Do you hear me? There's nothing there. Only a poor, imbecile old man.
I can see her. She's there. She is there.
It's the shadows. It's your imagination. It's... Good Lord. What's he doing? He's backing across the stage. Away from whatever it is. He's trying to ward something off. He's...
No. Oh, don't, Bella. Leave me alone. I'll tell you. I killed him. I killed your Marty. I killed my own brother. He was going away with you last night. I loved you, Bella. He was no good. He'd have left you. I was the one that loved you, Bella. I strangled him, killed him with my own hands. Had to do it that way. Had to show him with my own hands, my own strength. Bella, oh no! No, get away from me, don't!
What's he doing with his hands? Up to his throat. He's fighting something off. Lois, come on. Come on, we've got to help him.
No!
He rushed down to the stage, tripping over old pieces of lumber and boxes, finally reaching the footlights and climbing up around the end of them. As we got there, Danny was lying on the floor, a horrible gurgling issuing from his throat, his hands beneath his chin twitching convulsively. We rushed over to him. I tried to tear his hands away, but I couldn't move them. And then... He's dead, Lois. He's dead. Lois! Lois, what is it?
Cross stage.
The stage was an inch thick with ancient dust. But from the wings on the far side to where Danny had died, there was a narrow path, as clean as though it had been swept, as clean as though a trailing summer frock had brushed along it. We had no thought for anything but escape. Somehow we scrambled down from the stage, leaving Danny Quayle where he was, and tore blindly for the exit. In our haste, we were a moment or two finding the doorway. But in that moment, when the air was sultry and still, in that moment, an eddy of deathly cold air brushed past us, lingering on our faces and our hands. And as we held our breath, the torn burlap in the entrance swung gently out and back, as if someone had gone out from that place. It was morning before I returned to Colville, this time with a sergeant of the provincial police and a doctor. I told the sergeant I'd solved a 50-year-old murder for him, but he was little interested in that. Like the doctor, he was interested in something else entirely.
You say the old man was on his knees as if something was bearing down on him. Is that right, Mr. Bly?
Yes, Doctor.
A delusion, of course. He wasn't right in his head. Everyone knew that. And you say his hands were up around his throat?
Yes.
Very curious. Take a look at this throat, Mr. Bly. Look at the marks. That man's been strangled.
That's what it sounded like last night. As if he were being strangled.
Exactly. But in all my experience, sir, I've never before known a man to strangle himself.
I had nothing to say. Let him think that. There were things I remembered. Things I would never forget. The cold eddy of air that brushed past us. The narrow path through the dust on the rotting stage. The shadowy figure of a woman in an old-fashioned summer frock that Lois saw crossing the stage. I wish I could convince her that it was a shadow thrown up by the guttering candles and the footlights embellished by her imagination. I wish I could convince myself.
Theater 1030 has presented The Ghost Town Hermit, the first in a brief series of ghost stories and tales of the supernatural. The script was by Alan King, and the story was presented with John Scott as Ken, Peg Dixon as Lois, and Eric Clavering as Old Danny. Alfred Gallagher was heard as Frank, the newspaper editor. Douglas Master as Sam, the storekeeper, and Hugh Watson as the doctor. Sound effects were by Alex Sheridan. Technical operation, Ross Totten. This is Bill Lorne speaking.
That was the CBC Mystery Theater, entitled The Ghost Town Hermit. Well, that is it for this hour. Next hour, we will feature the show that scared the entire nation for several days right here on Airchecks. Stay tuned.